Congratulations. You found the Twin Cities Hit Show.
Very well. Where do I begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
You're lucky to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Reach for this one.
And now, a real hit show.
This is something I certainly will treasure forever.
Live from the Twin Cities.
It just comes with the territory, right? We hug, we kiss, we love.
It's the Twin Cities Hit Show.
To me, there are three things we all should do every day. If we do this every day of our life, you're going to have, what a wonderful, number one is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number two is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number three is you should have your emotions moved to tears. Could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something special.
Let's get this hit show started.
I thought those were three great things.
Yeah, I like one of them in particular, from what I remember.
You weren't even paying attention to the open, were you?
I was. Yeah, there's a poopy word. Oh, your mic is not on.
Colleen Kruse is here, everybody.
Hey, guys. Great to see you.
Hey, great to have you off
Great
mute.
to see you.
So is the opening new every day?
It's new every day.
Is that right? That's a lot of work.
Because you know, you listen every day. Come on, Colleen.
I do. I don't listen to the opening every day. You know, it's like I scoot past the credits of my favorite show just so I can gobble them up.
Well, that's good.
You know, you don't want to hear the Mad Men theme every single time, you know.
Yeah, no, well, there's a new one every day. There's a new
every
open
day.
every day.
Oh, my God.
We pay our producers so well to do all this, and it's worth the time and money.
And that was from one of the best speeches ever, and it's from the ESPY Awards of years ago. Coach Jim Valvano giving his speech as he received the Courage Award. He was to die 55 days later after that speech about how you can live a full life.
He died 55
And what are you
days
supposed? What are the three things, Chuck?
Only one stood out to me.
Oh, screw you.
Was it laughing and hugging?
Yeah.
And loving?
If you learn something every day, if you laugh every day, and if you cry every day, that is a great day.
All right.
I don't believe in laughter. That's why I was shaking my head.
I've got two of them down already.
Right? Good. Yeah. Did you cry when you smashed your finger? What's going on there?
It was awful. It was first thing in the morning. You know, I got.
Is it your FU finger?
It is my FU finger. It's my left, and I'm left-handed, and I'm.
Well, that's that's where you're going to use
it. It's my
it.
left middle finger, and it's my fingernail's totally black. The fingernail hasn't fallen off
Let's
yet.
see it.
I thought you were doing a Marilyn Manson thing. Oh yeah,
And
no, that's
God.
legit.
It was so bad. My finger got stuck in the. I was feeding the cats. There's 4 cats. It's a herd of cats, and my finger got stuck in the drawer, and I pulled. I pulled to take it out because I thought, oh, this hurts. And it didn't come out. And I thought, no. And I pulled it again, and I thought, no, I can't believe I was really actively using force to pull my finger out of this drawer. And I thought, you know, am I going to, like, rip the top of my finger off?
Jimmy
You're
Fallon.
gonna vault
And I
it,
didn't. And I was so happy
It's
about
almost
that.
a shame.
So,
Make for a better story.
You almost did it.
Frankly, I'm a little bored by this whole incident.
I know. I don't want to
Talk about
lose
the
any
4
of my
cats.
FU power on my left hand.
I want to talk about the 4 cats.
Boy,
That's why I'm worried about
what
you.
would you do?
Why would you be worried?
if you lost
so much
that?
love?
That would
If you
take-
died,
So many tears, so much laughter.
if you got
just with the cats.
yeah, live, laugh, love, and then die 55 later.
I
So-
hear even when you lose a limb, it seems like
They
it's
never
still
put
there.
that on the coffee cup and then die 55 days later. Sorry.
Yeah, I've lost a few limbs lately.
No, I'm just saying.
I feel like they're still there.
I imagine if you had pulled off your middle finger, you would continue to flip it even though it's invisible. And people are like, well, what is she doing?
It would be
You don't
stumpy.
see this. But I am. Oh, you okay? You'd
It
have
would
a
be
stump.
stumpy.
So it'd be.
It would be like Hedwig.
It'd be,
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
it would be pathetic.
Right on my hand.
It would be pathetic. You heard about Jimmy Fallon, right? He almost pulled his finger off.
Oh, thank God. I thought we were talking about something else when I said Hedwig.
The size of his
I didn't
weenie.
know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that just he was off for 2 weeks. He just came back on this week, and he talked about how he almost yanked his finger off.
Well,
And then a herd of cats.
Yeah.
maybe we're the same sign or something. Astrologically, it was doomed to happen. Maybe it happened on the same day. I don't know. I don't have network television. I
Yeah,
watch
but you also
everything
have
on
4
YouTube.
cats.
Good
4
for you.
cats, no network television.
Do you?
I see a pattern.
All I need is a manifesto and a hood Like, some sort of hoodie sweatshirt, some aviator sunglasses,
Ew,
right.
nice.
Like a little Unabomber fashion.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get it. I'd hate to have the
What would my manifesto be about? Laughter, loving,
And
learning
learning.
something every day.
yeah.
I disagree
it.
with the laughter. I think that's good.
Word to the FBI investigating Jared's computers. Go to Colleen's house and check out her computer.
Oh, there's nothing to find there.
What's-
Cat memes.
Well, you should go to jail for that alone.
Yeah.
I think Obama says that's not illegal.
I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever.
It
You
has
haven't.
been forever.
You haven't.
And you can't even talk about how busy and where you've been going from coast
Nope.
to coast and
Miss
big
Mysterious.
projects. And
Yeah.
can you say if is it going?
I went to New
as
York
hoped?
and I did a show in New York, and it went over fantastic. I mean, it couldn't have gone better. And everything is great. Everything is
Steaming ahead.
better
Just-
than great.
Just to clarify, you don't have to say yes or no, but is this not CSI New York?
Not CSI New
Okay,
York.
good. So there you have it.
Yeah,
So I think pretty clear.
yeah. So things are happening. I just can't talk about them yet.
But it's,
Isn't that exciting for a radio program or a podcast? Well, let's
but
talk
that's
about you
good.
guys. Let's talk about what's going on.
is that your mic? I'm hearing like the air conditioner. Are you white? Oh, sorry.
I was like, I figured he was going to
Oh,
say
That's
something.
whiter than white.
Ricey just turned down my microphone.
Well, it's that one there.
Yeah.
It's that. I'm just hearing the air conditioner, I guess, which I guess we're going to be needing this weekend. Nothing is new with us. Although we are happy that the Chart House loves us. The Chart House in Lakeville.
Chart
I
House in
know I
Lakeville,
want to
yeah.
go out there and do
You should come.
and
Yeah.
do a thing.
We
Yeah.
do it. We're live there every afternoon, including this afternoon. Although weather permitting, I don't know if we'll be on the deck.
So you do a double show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we care.
we're like the
We
big
care.
shows. We tape 2 on Thursday and take Friday off.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Friday's party day.
Yeah,
Party.
Sweet.
yeah. So we are going to hopefully enjoy another fabulous afternoon out on the deck at the
it's gonna
Chart
be
House.
amazing.
It's been around since 1968. They have all your needs. You got a wedding or a family reunion? Come on down to the Chart House.
Fun.
Yeah.
And you can actually hop in a blue and white taxi to get you down there. Blue and white, did you know they have the biggest fleet of taxis in the metro?
I call no one else.
And now
I got
with-
here by blue and white
Hey.
taxi.
You did?
I did.
You did?
I did.
You should have mentioned us.
All threes.
Yeah.
How easy is that?
7 threes.
Right, 612.
4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1 or 2 or
And
you
a
just add
smartphone
them.
app. Do you
Yeah.
you have a smartphone?
I do, but there's too many apps. I just do. I kick it old school with the blue and white. All threes.
See, we're trying to, because they're a sponsor as well now.
Oh, they are.
Oh,
Yeah,
could you
yeah.
tell?
Jeepy.
You couldn't even tell. I
I
know.
didn't know.
It's always
I'm
the quiet
trying-
ones.
I'm trying to write them a commercial, and the threes, I thought, blue and white taxi, it's easy as 333. And Chuck would go, don't you mean 1, 2, 3? Oh, no, not when it's blue and white. It's 612 333 3333. See? It's easy as 333.
I understand.
No.
They've been my cab company forever.
Oh, really?
Make it a great night. Log on to blue and white.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forget the other one. I need a beer from Third Street Brewery
Do you?
because they're also a sponsor of the show.
I should buy you a beer from Third Street Brewery.
They're up in Cold Spring, and it's
$3.50 at Chart House.
They're on
Ooh.
sale at the Chart House. All right.
Come on down. And thank you for listening to Twin Cities Hit Show, sponsored by Coca-Cola.
So you
and
saw the ESPY Awards last night.
No, I saw.
I mean,
parts
this
of them
morning
on YouTube.
On YouTube
Yeah.
because you have no television.
Right.
Right. You're full of cat
Right.
memes. Here's the deal with that. First of all, first time ever it has been on ABC, and we all know why, because
Right.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Right.
And I'm sure
What's the
that
conglomerate on that? And the Kardashians are on E. Is that right?
yeah.
And does he have anything to do with ABC? And then the Diane Sawyer is ABC.
Diane
and
Sawyer is ABC.
So there's got to be some sort of unholy matrimony going on between all of these entities that make that happen because they know that everyone's going to watch because they want to see pretty much what she's wearing
right. And what did
Right.
and I was guilty that
and
way
what she's
too.
going to say too.
I mean,
guess.
I'm sure the corporate banner or speak or memos were we're elevating the conversation about acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Then when the doors close and no one's listening, they're high fiving. Oh, everyone wants to tune into this freak show.
right.
They want to see what this dude looks like in a dress.
Well,
I
Caitlyn
did.
it looked magnificent.
Thank you.
Don't you think?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't see the pictures.
So
Beautiful.
I
Thank
played a snippet from Jim Valvano, and
I still don't like the fact that she's a Republican. I don't. I don't even understand how that happens.
That's an interesting. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
see much of that.
No.
Yeah,
You know why?
because Republicans.
Because Republicans
Hate.
probably don't care for, like the gay,
Transgender.
right? The whole LGBT.
Caitlyn Jenner for president,
Yeah.
or
I don't know.
she'd have to register as Bruce still, I think, legally.
if she
I like what she's doing. I admire it. Everything but the Republican part of it.
if she got rid of her dick, she could be a Democrat.
For the love of
It's
God.
a dick joke.
So I don't.
She's still a dick.
Yeah. So,
See what I did there?
yeah.
So Stuart Scott, I'm going to play a moment of him. He was a sportscaster at ESPN. He also gave one of the inspiring speeches. Here's just one thought from him. Hold on.
I also realized something else recently. You heard me kind of allude to it in the piece. I said, I'm not losing. I'm still here. I'm fighting. I'm not losing. But I got to amend that. When you die, that does not mean that you lose to cancer. You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and in the manner in which you live.
So there's been a history of great inspirational moments. In fact, later in the show, did you see when the football player talked about his 5-year-old who's battling cancer? No. And that was very tearful, and she, through the magic of video, gave a thank you to everyone with her little cute bald head and her headband on. So the bar is quite high for powerful, inspiring moments for the ESPYs. So ABC, this is the year. We've got Caitlyn. Let's listen to a little bit of this and see how she did. First of all, well, here's her opening moment.
Wow, I have to talk after that? Thank you so much. It is so wonderful to be here tonight.
First thing I thought is still has the dude voice.
Right, but she can't.
So it was disconcerting.
You can't do that. It will be silly. What's she supposed to go out there and say? Hi.
Isn't there some?
Sorry.
Isn't that just like you get fake boobies?
Yeah.
Isn't there some therapy
part of
for your voice?
Well,
too?
it happens naturally as the hormones, estrogen takes over. Blah blah
How
blah.
do you know?
Your vocal cords have a little stretching.
She's dating, or
Listen, you. I don't need you snapping back at me.
Caitlin's
Stop.
People would have laughed.
Stop.
People would have laughed if she went out.
You're
with a different
offensive to
voice.
all women.
I am.
Chuck is sounding like a woman now.
Particularly offensive to all women.
You're offensive to all women.
Caitlyn has been photographed with a transgender actress who looks and talks like a lady. So I don't know. Some of the transgender people.
Well, I suppose
Cue
if you're an
Aerosmith.
actress, Caitlyn is not an actress. She's a spokeswoman now, spokesperson now, but she is not an actress. So maybe they felt it would be disconcerting if she went out there with a voice that was markedly different than the one they're used to hearing.
Well, here's more. Here's how he continues.
But to tell you the truth, it seems like every time I turn around in life, I'm putting myself in these high-pressure situations, competing in the games, raising a family. But I've never felt more pressure than I ever have felt in my life than over the last couple of months. Picking out this outfit. Okay, girls, I get it. You got to get the shoes, the hair, the makeup, the whole process. It was exhausting. And next, the fashion police. Please be kind on me. I'm new at this. But
Okay.
I never watched the Kardashians, so I'm not really familiar with recent Bruce Jenner at all. So, but I will say this about his voice. Has he always has that?
He sells plastic surgery to me.
I don't recall it being
Well, what
that.
kind of plastic surgery does that to? Where
Cleanse
you're
your lips and keep them from being able to move. It does. He sounds like an old Republican lawmaker.
well, no, it's there's a whole.
Unless her lips did appear to get enlarged. I thought it was. I get what she was trying to do. She's like, "Here's the elephant in the room. I'm going to make the first joke because I know you're all looking at me." But part of me was like, "Ooh, you went there to the. It's all about the physicality. It's all about how you look." And I thought it was more than that. because to me, unless he's in a photographed and photoshopped and not moving, he still looks like, or she still looks like a dude.
So you thought
Physically.
even though you saw the speech and you thought she looked like a dude?
I thought when she started with that joke, it didn't quite land with me. I got what she was trying to do. She was trying to lighten the mood.
Uh-huh.
Whereas I was expecting her to go right into the struggles of being true to yourself and, the courage to finally be yourself. But she tried to do a little stand-up there, a little comedy.
Well, you'd have to.
Now, girls, I know what it
Because
feels
the
like. It's all
comedy
about
is so ripe. I mean, if you were in that position,
Yeah.
which is the potential to be the laughing stock of the world, and
I
your
could
family is the laughing stock. People either love the Kardashians with a passion that I will never understand, slavishly devoted to this family who
God
does
bless
nothing,
America.
right? Or they can't stand them. Or I guess there's a third camp. You really actively pay no attention.
Yeah.
You know who they are, but you just sort of shrug your shoulders. But people knew him before.
Oh God.
Yeah. So and he's embroiled in this tragic comic family, right?
Yeah, and his ex-wife was not in the audience, but Kim and the
Of course
daughters
not.
were.
She can't be.
I'm guessing she wanted to be in the worst way because hello, network, spotlight, and he said no. I mean, Caitlyn, she said no.
Really?
I don't
Do you
want
think
to.
she wanted to?
Oh, I think she's a spotlight whore. Yeah.
Really? She strikes me as a recluse.
I think because has she even made a statement after?
It's been vague stuff like I support Bruce and whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I think she's probably getting
Angry?
I think she's having a hard time dealing with it. And I think it's probably a variety of things that she's having a hard time dealing with. The fact that his spotlight usurps her own.
Oh, yeah.
And, and everything else underneath that, I guess. But
That I agree with. She strikes me as that shallow that she's having a little hissy fit. Oh, it's all about Caitlyn. Wow.
right.
That's how narcissists are.
But then also it might feel like your marriage was
Supposedly she knew
right, because
all these many years
how can you not know?
At least get a hint of something.
that Bruce had an inkling
Something's
to
not
dress
right
up
in bed.
all
some
those
lady's
clothes,
clothing.
all those closets.
Where
Yeah.
did my bras go?
Right. You would know, but you might not know to the extent that your fella wants to change. Right? Is this a
fella
fun
wants
is this a
to
fun
change.
thing for Friday night? Is this a thing, you might and who knows, maybe he didn't even know as it was happening because are you the same person you were? I mean, 20 years ago I was
Yeah.
What was I doing 20 years ago? I know I'm not the same person that I was 20
You
years
were
ago.
that mime juggling act. You tried.
Right. 30 years ago, I was, smoking pot behind
No.
the high school,
No.
and I would never touch the
Stay
stuff
in
now.
school, kids.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be doing podcasts later on in life.
No.
What? So yeah, evidently Caitlyn is the get right now over even Kim Kardashian as far as photos and tabloid. And immediately after she got the award, by the way, there was a commercial for her, the Caitlyn Jenner show
Sure.
on E. So there is going to be, there's the Kardashians. Caitlyn's going to have her own
Right.
show. Here's a little bit more of Caitlyn. Hold on. She's not done.
And I just want to take a quick shout out to our soccer team that they have absolutely.
Shocker.
let's what
Shocker.
Ladies, you clean up very well.
You clean up very well. He's
All
stuck on
across
the
this country right
dresses
now, all
and
across
lipstick.
the world, at this very moment,
Now he gets
there are
serious.
young people coming to terms with being transgender. They're learning that they're different, and they're trying to figure out how to handle that. On top of every other problem that a teenager has, they're getting bullied. They're getting beaten up. They're getting murdered. And they're committing suicide. The numbers that you just heard before are staggering. But they are the reality of what it's like to be trans today. Just last month, the body of 17-year-old Mercedes Williamson, a transgender young woman of color, was found in a field in Mississippi, stabbed to death. I also want to tell you about Sam Cobb, a 15-year-old transgendered young man from Bloomfield, Michigan. In early April, Sam took his own life. Now, Sam's story haunts me in particular because his death came just a few days before ABC aired my interview with Diane Sawyer. Every time something like this happens, people wonder, could it have been different if spotlighting this issue with more attention could have changed the way things happen?
And there, I think, is how he should have started, with the meat. Forget the jokety joke about his gown and stuff.
Right, but within that crowd, in that potentially homophobic, traditional male crowd, without using humor, I would want to lead with humor. I can see why he would want to lead with humor.
Every old school giving a speech book says start with a joke, and he did. And he sounds like an old school speech. I think that as a transgender woman.
Joke.
Right. Well, what he's doing is radical, so you got to pick and choose where you're going to be radical, don't you think? I mean, just standing up there is radical and bizarre for most people.
Yeah. Well, in the package beforehand, the highlight of his Olympic achievement, which was amazing, to not only win the decathlon, but do it in such a powerful, strong way. In 1976, our bicentennial year, he was the poster child for America, that flag-waving superhero. So, yeah, now dude looks like a lady.
I guess they're looking into the fact that he was estrogening during that, and there's, allegations of
live and let live. Go, Caitlin, go. What I don't, for me, it's in that Diane Sawyer interview, I just keep sticking back to the point where he said he was a Republican, because I think, if you go, the Stonewall, what gay pride is brought out of, it was started by, I guess I don't even know the terminology, so I'm going to butcher this, but is it a female impersonator? It was Miss Sylvia, right? Holly Woodlawn, who was one of the Andy Warhol superstars. Andy Warhol loved female impersonators. Candy Darling, Jackie, all these wonderful people, right? Bizarre, wonderful, old school, glamorous female impersonators. And there was this bar that they hung out at, and it got raided, and it was a big, horrible hate crime, and people died, and that's what gay pride was brought out of. And
what year was that?
1969.
I didn't
because it didn't come onto my radar until like 15 years ago or so.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
No, the gay pride event. I mean, it's at a level now. It's growing exponentially, is what I'm saying.
I went to the
It went like this, and then it went, what? Now it's,
I went to gay pride in downtown Minneapolis when I was in high school in 1985, and it was a much smaller event. But now, I mean, people, the more you feel comfortable being out there, and now it's a family event. It also used to be more sexual.
Yeah, now it's more about acceptance and not sexual.
Exactly, because you have to, gay people are, you focus on the sexuality because the rubbernecking thing is, they're having sex differently than us, right? Because it's not the traditional or whatever, it's not the male-female coupling. So they focus on everybody focuses on the sex, and that culture gets overly sexualized. And now it's just about, hey, where are you taking your kids to the lake this weekend? There's that weird flesh-eating amoeba. You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes a non-issue. So, I don't know. But to me,
it becomes like a convention, big business.
The crazy
downtown.
Republicans do not jibe with Miss Sylvia from Stonewall. So he's got part of his history down. I like him. I think he's doing great things.
She.
That's right, she.
What's been very cool about this summer especially is the Republicans have ended up on the wrong side of the coin over and over again on big issues are now coming to be considered norm in our culture. Gay marriage, done, all right? They were on the wrong side of that one. Yeah, well, guess what? That's over. Right. Health care for everyone, guess what? That's a good thing, all right?
Caitlin
you bastards.
Could be their linchpin on this.
Yeah. So you'll just keep moving forward.
Are you a Democrat?
I've actually voted for Republicans in my history. but I'm for the smartest man in the room. That's what I want.
That's a good way to say
I'm not
that.
running, Rusty. You can't vote for me.
I just want the smartest man in the room.
Yeah. Okay, I'll run, I guess.
I don't care. I'll out myself. I'm a Democrat. proud and strong. Not even going to call it progressive.
But if you,
I'm
Liberal.
Canadian.
there have
Liberal.
there you go. All right, but there have been Democrats who have been idiots, right? You can't just
For
vote.
sure.
And so
Of
I've
course there
avoided
have
them.
been.
I'm like, no, you're too weak or you're too
I'm
weird.
kind of an idiot. That's why I'll never run.
That's why you're on this show.
However, for the most part, there's compassion there that I don't see in the Republican Party. Compassion for all peoples.
What is the stat for?
That's an interesting take on things.
Here's a horrible stat, and you can say what it is, but you can Google it. I think it's true. 100%. Not all Republicans are racist. Not all Republicans,
boy.
but 100% of racists are Republican.
Yeah.
There's not.
Go figure.
There's not many Democrats. In
I don't
fact,
buy
according to the survey,
I
the
just don't like
information,
it when it's mostly the Republicans that
you can't
want
be a
me-
Democrat and a racist.
They want to be able to decide what happens with my vagina.
Okay, wait.
That's what I don't like.
Okay, back up.
Guess what? It's
measuring
mine.
racism? Who's measuring?
Do you
Are
have
you a
plans for your
racist?
vagina?
Why, yes, I am.
I'm an advocate for my vagina.
Let's. What are the? I want to see the Google calendar for your vagina. What are the
Oh,
plans for your
God.
vagina?
Oh.
You're taking your vagina out this afternoon?
So, all the things you can do. It's like that Dr. Seuss book.
well,
You can go to the zoo.
You didn't have to say it twice. I didn't. Hey, no, back it up. Here, wait a
Back
minute.
it up.
Okay,
Well,
on this survey, so 100% of all.
Google it.
Just hold on. Who's measuring this? Are you a racist? Why, yes, I am. no racist says they're racist. They say I don't appreciate them.
No, they say
maybe it was-
they say creepy things like, well, there's good blank and black, whatever. They say
The key part about that is not
creepy
100%
things.
of
They don't
the
say that they are.
not 100% of the Republicans are racist, but if you go to like the KKK, 100% there are no Democrats in the KKK.
Yeah, I think you're painting a very broad brush on that one.
Well,
otherwise.
there's
There's this great comic, and she's not performing anymore in the Twin Cities. Alex Alexander, and if she's still around, and she stopped performing. She had this great bit called "I'm a racist, and I don't even know it." Right? And she used to do a cable access show, and she had her sidekick, her Andy Richter, her Paul Schaefer, and it was
McMahon.
a black hand puppet named Darnell, and he would say wonderful things, wonderful, outrageous things, right? And they'd have all of these great conversations about race. And it was a African American guy that manipulated and voiced Darnell. And I think it was like almost like that thing you get with ventriloquists where the dummy can say really crazy things,
Yeah,
but because
it's
it's not
the
a
dummy.
person,
Yeah.
right? So Darnell, the puppet, would say all these crazy things. But the thing is, you don't even know because you're white. How would you know if you're racist? You don't know. You don't know, and you can only guess at it. That's the best we can do because we're all white. We can just guess at it, and we can try to be compassionate, and we can try to be, and you have to constantly refocus and constantly think, well, how would it be? How would it be if I came from generation upon generation upon generation of this culture, and I was trying to make my way through this other culture, right? Where people automatically think I'm a criminal or, I've got, who knows? I'm talking too much. Sorry.
That's what we're.
I know, that's what we're here
You
for.
talk.
Do you find?
Yeah, I mean this. I don't know.
You
if
found
this
the
is
article
what
that backs me up?
Is that the one?
No, I don't know. I've read it in several different.
Why are we listening
things.
to Sinead O'Connor?
Sinead O'Connor's not
Oh,
happy that the
good point.
Kardashians are on the cover of Rolling Stone because Kim Kardashian, Bruce Jenner's stepdaughter, is on the cover of the current Rolling Stone magazine. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I get a little bit of Sinead's anger. Rolling Stone is supposed to be for musicians mainly, I thought.
Right, but don't they always have a hot chick on there?
Yeah. It's
No.
Aren't they more
On Rolling
well,
Stone? No. Well, I mean, they have...
Julia Louis-Dreyfus was on there topless. She's kind of a hot chick
Oh.
of a certain, you know what I mean?
So if the chick is going to be on the cover, she is hot. They don't always have hot chicks.
Or
'cause
they make-
They've had U2. They've had, various...
Right. And wasn't
They're not hot chicks.
the cast of True Blood was naked on the cover of
The Rolling Stone?
The Rolling Stone. Or that might have been Entertainment Weekly, but
Yeah, that sounds more like it. Dixie Chicks were on the cover of Entertainment Weekly with their naked bodies.
Right. I know Julia Louis-Dreyfus was on Rolling Stone.
Sinead O'Connor isn't renewing her Rolling Stone subscription anytime soon. This is according to the day of the Wrap. Calling Kanye's wife a cunt, O'Connor decided that music
That's
has
a great
officially
word.
died, and the Rolling Stone was the one who murdered it. But don't worry, Simon Cowell, she isn't taking anything away from your contribution to the effort. Bob Dylan must be fucking horrified, she concluded on the newsstand's decision, calling for a boycott and she said, what else? I don't smile much because it causes her. Wait, anyway.
True
Those
Blood was on Rolling Stone.
There you go.
So,
Right.
you know.
One could argue that they've done more positive for the culture than Kanye. I mean, not than Kanye's wife.
Right.
Kim hasn't done anything musically or
Ever?
theatrically.
Ever. She did anything for a culture. She's done nothing.
So,
I've said this before.
Anyway.
I'll say it again. I think this whole Kardashian thing brings our entire culture down, giving these idiots a voice. Every reality show, every time we take a non-person, non-interesting human and have a camera crew follow them around, and people go, I just like watching the train wreck. I don't give a crap about the train
No,
wreck.
I don't like it
Yeah.
because it's a minstrel show for women.
Yeah.
And it's horrifying.
Ooh, I like that. That
It's
was
true.
fun. Yeah.
It's absolutely true, and it models you sort of emulate what you see around you, and that's why it's important to have. That's why it's important that women's soccer gets the right coverage
Right.
in our newspapers and in our media, and the Kardashians get less, or the Real Housewives get less,
Right.
because what you see is what you. If you constantly hear, how much do you guys hate when you watch a sitcom and it's the stupid dad, the dad that can't do anything, the bumbling idiot dad. Women hate it when they're the screaming wife, right? Because we know that it's not altogether true. So yeah,
Ronda
Jerks.
Rousey is making a little bit of a buzz from her comments on the red carpet at the ESPYs last night. She's the ultimate fighter who is kicking ass in her sport, and she got the award.
she's a woman ultimate fighter.
Yeah, she's a woman ultimate fighter.
I could
She's
take
fighting
her.
other ladies.
I could take
Too
her.
bad.
Yeah, so she got an award last night for best fighter, and she kind of dissed Floyd Mayweather. Check it out.
But we want to be the first to present you, on behalf of ESPN, the ESPY for Best Fighter. You beat out Floyd Mayweather, and you should have.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
No, ladies and gentlemen, take a moment to suck that in. She is, and soak that in as well. You are the best fighter.
Wow. Well, I can't help but really say that I wonder how Floyd feels being beat by a woman for once.
Wow.
I like to see you pretend to not know who I am now.
Wow.
And of course, Floyd Mayweather has spent time behind bars for domestic violence.
Good for her.
Yeah.
No, seriously, good for her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What does it feel like now, Floyd? How you
They
like
should
me
hire
now?
her to do wonderful to have female action heroes, and I love that movie Salt with Angelina Jolie. But
yeah.
they should have somebody like her, whatever that woman's name is, the ultimate
Ronda
fighter.
Rousey.
Yeah, I'm sure she's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have her. They should. Why couldn't they make an action franchise around her?
I think they're working on it, and
Good.
I think Hollywood has already got attention focused on her.
Good.
She's had a couple of cameos in some movies. What was the last one she was in? Oh, I'm having a brain freeze. But anyway, yeah. Ronda Rousey, I think, will be a name that we start to hear from. She's going to try and make a go of it like The Rock transitioned from wrestling.
Oh, he's good. Oh man, is he good to look at?
Idle down.
Oh.
Now you were just
Oh.
your thoughts were so elevated and philosophical
Yeah.
before, and now
No.
you've just gone right back into the.
That's right.
You're ogling a man.
He is a beautiful man.
Thank
he
you.
is a he is a beautiful, beautiful man. I
gotta-
could look at pictures of The Rock all day long and not feel like my day was wasted.
Think of all the cat memes you'd miss out on.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
Oh man.
Hey, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about stuff, including a little bit on Obama. He's kind of said a couple of things yesterday that we may want to chat about, including, did he weigh in on Bill Cosby? He did, but not as much as a lot of folks are trying to say he did. Anyway, not much to talk about. We're very excited. Colleen Kruse is back in the house. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk more with her as well. Don't go anywhere, all right? We'll be right back.
the Twin Cities Hit Show. We'll be right back.
MacMen. Don't let your computer problems drive you mad. We are MacMen, Minnesota's premier tech consultants and problem solvers for Macs, mobile devices, troubleshooting, training, and much more. No more dragging your computer all over town because we come to you. We love making house calls to your home or small business. MacMen. Call 612-345-8005.
Hey everybody, my name is Joan Vorderbruggen, and I want you to tune into my new weekly podcast, Joan of Art, on the Alive and Social Network. Each week on Joan of Art, we will interview some of the most talented artists from across the Twin Cities. I'm talking painters, costume designers, filmmakers, poets. There's going to be something for everybody. You can find the Joan of Art podcast at www.aliveandsocial.com or look on Facebook for Joan of Art Podcast. Tune in weekly to Joan of Art as we investigate and celebrate people who make art.
The Rusty Gatenby Review is the entertaining show about entertainment from movies, music, and more. Award-winning TV guy Rusty Gatenby and his review is the podcast with the biggest cast in entertainment, part of the Alive and Social Network. You can get that Minnesota connection to Hollywood and beyond any time of the day or night simply by clicking on the RustyGatenbyReview.com. That's the RustyGatenbyReview.com, part of the Alive and Social Network.
The one and only Chart House. Your destination, whether dining for two, drinks with friends, or making up for that night with friends. Join us at the Chart House for brunch, dinner, or drinks.
Hi, I'm Josh Ripper, and I'd like to invite you to my restaurant, and I'll buy half your dinner. Go to charthouserestaurant.com to find out more.
Visit charthouserestaurant.com today for your special offer. And then come visit Chart House in person. Your table is waiting.
You're listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show. Say it fast 3 times. We just dare you.
Yes, you need to go to the Chart House. In fact, you need to go to the Chart House today, damn it.
Yeah, meet that guy that you just heard, Josh. He's so nice.
We got our Twin Cities Hit Show. Our summer deck show continues. We've had just a lot of fun down there. Mary Jane Alm performed for us last weekend. Mm-hmm. Weather permitting, we'll be on the deck. Otherwise, we'll be inside with the nice, cozy show inside.
We got to get some of those people. We got to start doing rebooks like with Kat Perkins and Mary Jane Alm and people like that. They'd come back.
There's so many more. We got more. Yeah. Tony Fly's going to be on the show.
Yeah,
Mick Sterling's going to be on the show.
Yeah.
Why do we need to? We're bigger than rebooking. Caitlyn Jenner.
We're better than that.
It's going to be, if you're listening, we want you on the show.
If you're listening, if you can play guitar, maybe, harmonica.
I thought we booked the Rolling Stones. You did that, right?
Yeah, that's, I'll talk off air about that, but yes, clearly. I've been hearing this song a lot, by the way. Yeah.
Colleen, I predicted that when this song came out by Beck. This is Beck.
It pains me to say... It pains me to say that Rusty might be right about something, but I think he called this.
Like 2 months ago, and the day it came out, I immediately played it on the show, and I said, this is going to be a hit. And the way I'm saying it's going to be a hit is this fall, when they announce the new TV shows for the fall lineup, some network's going to grab this thing, because the chorus is, in dreams, and you're going to see all these images. And I said, then after that, just before Thanksgiving, Ford or Lexus or somebody is going to grab it too. And then you're going to see their shiny car in the chorus. Cue the chorus. In dreams. Plus, it's...
We need to write a country drinking song. I have said this for many years.
Yeah.
Country drinking songs never go out of style.
As long as it's got a pickup truck and a beautiful girl. Either that you're just falling in love with or that dumped you. Mm-hmm. Both work.
We're still talking about country music or my life? Because you just described my life perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
I thought you were dating somebody now.
In his dreams.
What week is it? I've lost track. Well, that's what I saw you. It was like 3 girlfriends ago.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, God.
You're prolific.
Yeah.
His would be a reality show that I would watch.
I'm trying to spread hatred and despair
That's
across
not
the metro
true.
area. It's working.
It's kind of true.
It's kind of true.
A little bit.
We'll talk off air. It's
a little bit true.
It's been real exciting.
All right. Speaking of anger and such, a lot of folks not happy with this new Iranian deal, and the president actually took an extended press conference yesterday. I stumbled through what was on live, and I thought he did very well, but not everyone agrees, obviously. Here's a moment from yesterday, and the president talking to the nation.
Either the issue of Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon is resolved diplomatically through a negotiation, or it's resolved through force. Through war.
Iran is already close to a nuclear weapon, 2 to 3 months away, according to U.S. experts, but will be at least a year away for the next decade if this deal is implemented.
Even if everything the critics were saying was true, they won't be at a breakout point that is more dangerous than the breakout point they're in right now.
Don't let them have their yellow cake and eat it too.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attacked the 24-day waiting period international weapons inspectors must endure before gaining access to suspected covert nuclear sites inside Iran. The president said the risk is minimal.
This is not something you hide in a closet. This is not something you put on a dolly and kind of wheel off somewhere.
Mr. Obama bristled when pressed on the fate of 4 Americans still held captive by the Iranian regime.
Can you tell the country, sir, why you are content with all the fanfare around this deal to leave the conscience of this nation and the strength of this nation unaccounted for?
First of all, the ball's on this guy. You're in front of the president. He was in the front row to ask such an inflammatory question.
In relation to these 4 Americans?
The notion that I'm content as I celebrate with American citizens languishing in Iranian jails. Major, that's nonsense. And you should know better.
Shame
now,
on you.
if the question is why we did not tie the negotiations to their release, think about the logic that creates. Suddenly Iran realizes, you know what, maybe we can get additional concessions out of the Americans by holding these individuals.
Amen to negotiations here, because there's finally an understanding with everyone that, you know, you can't, this guy, first of all, you don't ask a question as the press and editorialize in your question and expect a reasonable answer. And second of all, if we put our foot down, well, that's not going to work. So it's called negotiation. You give a little, you get a little.
Or you just send the bombs in. That's what the Cheneys would have you do.
Oh, it's so simple. Yeah, you just bomb it. Yeah, that'll fix everything.
What you do is you put, and then Trump was on Fox News last night, and he was saying, you know, you don't die to have him home tomorrow. Remember Reagan? Yeah. Oh, he says he's worth $10 billion. Good on him. Spend that money. We're looking at CNN right now. He released his financials yesterday. Now they have to verify his information, but according to his paperwork, he's worth $10 billion. Well, good.
Doofus.
But yeah, the negotiation, I think, was the smarter, the intellectual way to go about it. Obviously, it's harder, but you don't care about Iran? You don't care about Iran?
I have a limited amount of brain space. I'll say it.
Don't say that about yourself, Punkin.
I just can't. Weigh in on this.
Right.
Right.
What about should we take the Medal of Freedom away from Bill Cosby? There's a short. Here's what the president.
Because he's a serial rapist?
For revoking a medal, we don't have that mechanism.
At a news conference on Wednesday, the president was asked about calls to revoke Bill Cosby's Medal of Freedom. A petition posted on the whitehouse.gov website reads in part, the Presidential Medal of Freedom is the highest award bestowed on civilians for their contributions to society. Bill Cosby does not deserve to be on the list of distinguished recipients. We urge the administration to take the unprecedented action of revoking this award.
If you give a woman, or a man for that matter, without his or her knowledge, a drug, I think this country, any civilized country, should have no tolerance.
So he's talking about rape there at the end.
let's not let that nugget slip. I mean, you're telling me I can no longer have sex?
Well, I like that he tried to be. I agree. However, if you give a man a knockout drug, how are you going to have sex with him? You have to slip him a Viagra as well, don't you?
I don't know. It's
You're
happened
going to
many
knock out
times.
what are you going to rub that wet rope? What are you going to do with it?
Wet rope.
I don't know. Maybe you don't want to have. You're assuming that you want to have intercourse with the penis.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
there's another
Why is
way.
your rope wet
Right.
at that time?
Right.
That's my question.
Horrible drugs
Yeah.
that the man was given.
Mm-hmm.
No, really, don't take away my ability to procreate. Don't say that drugs can't be used.
That is your only shot, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even have 2 kids if it weren't for. God. Okay. Disclaimer: that didn't happen exactly like that.
Should we take away the Medal of Freedom from Bill Cosby? It's never been done before. There are no rules in place at that point, which to me,
Right.
then make the rules.
Right.
I say you do. But, however, you can at this moment because you've been convicted of nothing.
Create a process. Create a process, and it probably won't happen a lot, but it's going to happen because it seems like everyone we put on a pedestal at some point, there's a big chink in their armor.
Well, there's.
We just took the Confederate flag down after consideration. You should be able to take away the Medal of Freedom or whatever that thing is.
Right.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense, but
not
today. Not
a chink in the armor is a lot different than 40 some women. That's a lot of people.
No.
This is not just a one time.
Yeah.
But the problem is he hasn't been arrested yet or convicted
We
yet.
have mounting evidence,
right?
And it took a long time for anybody to believe that too.
Yeah,
that's the
sad.
most disheartening thing for women. I think is just that really.
Yeah.
I mean, I believed it immediately. Because I'd
because
heard
he's
stuff,
black?
and it's like no,
You
because
racist.
I've heard stuff
You
before.
racist.
Because that woman where
Kidding.
they just put out the. The deposition, right?
Yeah.
Where
The original
where he-
Jane Doe.
The original Jane Doe, right? And because when it was happening back then, I had some friends who had. I mean, I'm in comedy, right?
Yeah.
Who said, "Well, this is kind of an open secret." What? What?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah, isn't that sad? Yeah.
But there was still, even though people felt confident that it was true, they still didn't quite know because otherwise,
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because money and influence.
Well, here's what needs to happen, and why hasn't it happened then? Okay, then have the trial.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Let's do this then. Convict him, and then there is no.
Well, I don't know the logistics of it, but when was the last one? Is that one within the statute of limitations? And then how do we mount a prosecution from that? I guarantee there are discussions going on. I don't know in terms of the legality of actually making it happen. What happened decades ago, sadly, you can't charge for that. This deposition is probably very useful, but that was used in a civil trial. And
the trial's happening right now. It's happening in chat rooms all over the internet.
Yeah, right.
It's happening right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point. I mean, I think that this is all the point. I mean, I don't know if those women are because how can they get back what they lost?
Right.
They can't. And how can he make reparations? Money? I don't know. It depends. If somebody went on to become, and I know a couple of them did, right? They went on to have drug abuse problems and significant problems relating to directly making a living, right? So maybe that could happen. But, you know, a lot of them went on to have regular old lives with this horrible, you know, thing in the past, right? So I don't know. Maybe it might be nice to just let people know here. This is what he's done. He's still able-bodied. He could still do it again.
Yep.
So be careful. Don't accept a drink from this guy. You know, and it just would be nice.
Yeah.
The lesson is believe people when they tell you something.
Yeah.
Not automatically. I mean, rape victims usually don't make that stuff up.
I don't even want to say believe people when they tell you something because I'm more of a cynic, but give them a chance to tell their story and listen to them and weigh in. And I get it. If I'm one woman and I have this happen with Bill Cosby, I'm like, no one's going to believe me.
I think it's a completely different era and a better time for these kinds of issues.
Right.
I think if it happened now, if some well-known actor, well, it did happen recently. What's his face? He was on The Voice, the chubby black guy.
It's a better time to get assaulted now.
Comedian Adam
also,
Richmond, who was in town. Remember that? Yeah. Rusty, you and I have never
But
talked
it's
about
also
that.
a worse time to get assaulted because then you're the blowback for the person that accuses is terrible too, because you've got a peanut gallery of whoever the fans are. Oh, you're never going to shut up and you should die, and you know.
Oh, CeeLo?
CeeLo is the guy.
Oh.
He's in trouble for giving someone drugs, and they believed her right away.
I believe her instantly. Guy's a douchebag.
Yeah, that happened last year.
There was a
he didn't build his career on being a nice guy.
Yeah, true.
So
or being anything.
I don't think anyone could get away with it now the way Bill Cosby did for all those decades. What I find even more just bizarre is that Bill Cosby himself, the man, how is he able to look in the mirror?
Well, the pathology there must be very thick.
Oh, God, yeah.
It just must be ginormous. Does he still tell himself this didn't happen? Or
How
they
does
kind of
anybody
knew?
He's saying they consented. That's his. And I think
All
he tells
40 of
himself
them?
that. I saw that a lot when I take interrogations from people, do interrogations on people, and they'd admit to guilt, but they'd admit to enough guilt to give me my evidence, but you could see they're hiding their actual guilt that they are experiencing. Yeah, I did that, but... And, I'd get...
That's
pathological. We all say.
Messed
yeah.
up.
I mean, that's a human thing. That's
Absolutely.
that's your kids.
Yep.
I did this, but this is why.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You would like to think he would be so compelled and so torn up and embarrassed that he'd have to do a look. I just got to come clean. I am so sorry. I need help. I'll do whatever.
In theory, that's what jail time is for. It gives you an opportunity to ruminate on why you've been removed from society. But instead, I don't think jail time would do anything for Bill Cosby.
No.
I think it would be a waste.
Honestly, sue him.
If anything, he could give money to
current
rape victims.
Or even his past victims. Take away his money. He built his money as a career, as a prolific speech maker, example for the entire country. Just a real guy who was on a pedestal.
Martha Stewart did a year for insider trading.
I know. Isn't that sad?
And this guy...
We have a short memory, don't we?
Walks free.
Yeah. Martha Stewart needed a fry too, but she just came right back up. Not to this extent, but you know what? She's a criminal, and people just forgot about it.
Yeah, but for a year, that was like, people do that people in her situation do that all the time.
She was on house arrest for most of it, and she's a great cook. So there's no punishment. Oh my God, my crates!
She's a great
I can't even. I'm out of flour, and I am stuck in this damn house with this bracelet.
Cornstarch.
Ooh, you found the fix. Well done.
Well, also making news. Paul Rudd farts.
I don't believe it.
It's true. It was captured on an interview.
Queef.
Well,
Caitlyn Jenner queefs. Breaking news.
That would be amazing.
Leslie Nielsen used to have a fart thing that he would palm in his hand. The guy from Naked Gun.
Yeah.
And I interviewed him. I've interviewed him several times.
I want to hear about your most embarrassing fart.
Oh,
the day I lost as I lost my virginity.
Really?
Yes, true story. Totally naked. Oh, there's no way to explain that.
The virginity continued to get lost?
Yeah, that was actually right before.
Or was that the ending of the virginity?
No, that was right before.
Right before.
Right before.
How much did this hooker cost you?
She was very young, and I was very young. We chalked it up to.
Oh, man.
We never spoke of that.
Wow. Well, that's the thing. When they're super embarrassing, you never speak of it. But if you're Paul Rudd, it's going to be all over the news. Where did he fart?
It was one of these junket interviews for Ant-Man, the movie that is coming out this weekend that I'll be reviewing tomorrow morning on WCCO Mid-Morning with Jason DeRusha.
It would be worse if it was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, well,
The Rock.
You know what I mean? No, The Rock could probably get away with farting.
I looked at this video because
The Rock's funny. Bradley Cooper is kind of funny, but,
this seems real. It doesn't seem like the Leslie Nielsen fart device, but it does go on,
Yeah.
and he's able to do it at command. I'll play a little bit of it. Hold on.
I just do the same stuff that everybody else does.
He did on purpose.
So big things do come in small packages. Yay!
Chair. It's the chair. It's leather.
I'm sure you just came back from lunch. I got it. What types of things do you do in your suit that nobody knows about?
I guess, say I just do the same stuff that everybody else does.
He's l'epitome.
Next question.
Next
Sounds
question.
like a pig.
Paul Rudd.
He's sitting in a leather
Tooting.
chair, and he's making the face. I see nothing in his hands.
I've never been
probably
tooted on in
making
an
the
interview
sound.
before. How do you feel right now?
Relieved.
Well, I feel a little. My stomach's a little upset, but
I think that's my interview right there.
There's no way that's
Terrible
all
chairs.
him.
They need to replace these chairs.
I don't know. It looks.
Should we see if we can do this whole interview with
He
you?
may have a
and get
secret
one
talent
question?
where he could.
Captain America or Iron Man?
There's no way that's all him. That's
No.
the chair. It's got to be the chair.
They're great.
Is he
Both of
moving
them.
in the
Great
chair?
guys.
No, the only thing he's doing is like lifting a butt
So
cheek
Peyton
and
actually
grimacing.
told me to ask you this. So there's an Ant-Man dance, and
We'll have to link the video to our website and our Facebook.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
You
and
are
I'm
telling
not.
a fib.
No, I'm really
Anyway,
not.
hilarious.
Farts are always funny.
They are. They never get old.
They've been funny for a long time.
They never get old.
Chuck, do you have anything in the world of crime that we needed to get to? Or
Yeah, I thought
we've got 4 minutes left.
Oh my God, the pressure is mounting.
Do you guys end on crime every single day?
We try and we have a crime moment at the end in the last block, and it's supposed to be funny.
Okay, good.
What you said, you're getting editorial on me, mister.
And then there's our goodbye thing, but it looks like Chuck does not have anything.
I do. I want to talk about this lady who was arrested Sunday for refusing to pay for $26 seafood buffet. This one's in South Carolina, not Florida, mind you. Pretty rare that my stories come from anywhere but Florida. Police arrived after employees said she'd been at the restaurant for 4 hours and was disturbing other patrons. Officer said when they asked what she had planned to do about the bill, she didn't plan on paying for it because Jesus was going to take for it.
Oh, well, that's nice of Jesus.
Yeah. So
Jesus takes the wheel.
Yeah.
And he's going to take the wheel on that one. He's
Yeah.
also going to cover the tab.
Yep.
She was on a date. She was on a date with Jesus.
Well, no, she said she claimed Jesus was her husband, and he would be back soon.
She's
and be
a
able to-
nun.
She's a nun. No, if you saw her picture, she's definitely, well, she could be a nun.
Okay.
She should be a nun.
All right.
Actually, I'd recommend nunship for her.
Has she changed since she gave you your virginity or lost your virginity to her?
Jesus would be back soon and be able to walk in and produce U.S. currency to pay for her bill.
Wow.
Seafood buffets frighten me.
Jesus frightens me if he's not going to pay the bill. Pay the bill, Jesus. Jesus, pay the bill. Jesus.
Just because of the fish going bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Yeah. Seems like a one and done kind of a deal. You don't want it sitting out on, even if it's on beds of ice. It just seems a little.
I went to my worst buffet down in Myrtle Beach area, and I say worst just because I accepted the challenge at the buffet. It was like $33.
I accept the challenge.
And I said, I'm going to eat at least $42 then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's outrageous.
Yeah.
So the third plate in, and it was, and it was rows and rows. I mean, it was a substantial buffet. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
still $33.
Did you do it?
I did, but what I discovered, and it was unfortunate, the last row of entree food was where the prime rib and stuff was.
Of course it is.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, damn it! Why did
It's
I?
always
Gaffigan. You
the
heard
last-
Gaffigan's been on
Yeah.
bacon and
And
the
I'm
buffet?
Slice me 3 slices of that prime rib, damn it, and throw on those potatoes. But yeah, I should have gone right to the hospital.
Yeah.
But I think I ate about $72 worth.
Good for you.
Yeah, I got like
My kids and I used to love to go to OCB.
Yeah.
That was
Want some salt with your salt?
Mhm.
That'd be good. Yeah, Gaffigan has a great bit on that where he talks about bacon and he's mad because he's loaded up. He goes, "What bacon? I would have waited for you if I'd known you were here, but instead I wasted my time on all this worthless fruit. I should have
Exactly.
waited for you."
That sounded like him.
Yeah.
By the way, his TV show got panned.
Oh, I knew.
No,
we talked
that's
about
too
this.
bad.
I know.
Yeah, it got
I didn't
panned.
watch it.
I
Well,
really
it's-
like him.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Well, I'm going to love going to the Chart House this afternoon.
Yeah, Jesus will be there and pay for your bill, I think, is the moral of the story.
That's why I'm going.
Yeah. He
What
won't pay
are
for
you
my
doing?
bill because I'm a Jew.
Colleen, what are you up to? I saw someone flirted with you on a napkin.
Oh,
You've been all
yeah.
over-
Hell yeah. It was awesome. What am I up to? Nothing. Not a damn thing.
But this
Back up about
secret
this.
project is percolating and still alive.
Yeah, I got a project. It's happening. Maybe I'll be on later.
Yeah.
Can we have me on later to
You
talk
should
about
come
it?
in anytime. What are you doing tomorrow?
Does it have a time frame? Do you think like this fall?
Fall.
Yeah, good. So you're just kicking back and
Just
enjoying
kicking back,
the
enjoying the summer.
bitch.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for letting us have you.
We miss you.
You're a little petunia.
Remember that We'll see you down at
Chart House today.
See, not the Chart House.
The
Jeez. God.
Who came up? When
You
was
didn't
that?
ask
Yesterday.
me about my most
What's your most embarrassing?
Oh, yeah.
Does it involve a chart?
Yeah, no.
Ooh, first
No.
go with the first answer.
No, I was in bed with a guy,
Oh yeah.
and it was the first time. It was the first fella that I ever slept overnight with,
Sounds
and we
familiar.
weren't
Was it
sleeping
Chuck?
together in the biblical sense, but we were staying
Yeah.
overnight with each other. We were at a hotel, and it was after I got divorced and I gotten used to sleeping by myself because I didn't pass gas for 10 years for my second marriage. I just didn't. I just stopped. Right, and I had all that.
Explained your anger.
Yeah,
during that
I
whole
know,
marriage.
exactly. And then I thought I was alone because I never slept with anybody anymore. And I let out. It was just like the morning. and then in that second, like right after it, he went, "Oh my fucking God!" And I went, "No, and I got him.
I take it back."
Yeah.
Well, you didn't fart here, and we thank you.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you again.
I hope to be
Rusty's
here.
didn't tell his story.
I'll t-
Whoa.
We'll save it, I guess. for
Mine-
Until next time.
Mine is too horrible for podcasts.
Yeah, really.
All right.
It happened after the buffet.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you this afternoon at the Chart House. It'll be a dream.
Dream.